He's the lay, warlords come out to play, could be your last day in life, sacrifice, another Aztec dies.
My name's Leomar, but everyone knows me as Leo, and a few of the homies call me Spanky. And I had this experience one time where it was like maybe 12 midnight, around 1 in the morning, and I was barely going to bed. And I could see all my little brothers asleep. I could see my dad asleep. And I just jumped on my bed, and I just started feeling cold all over my body, man. I was shaking, and I looked at the window, and I seen this fucking crazy looking demon. And his laughter like paralyzed me. It put like fucking fear to my very bone. It started laughing real wicked. And I remember I tried to scream for my mom and my dad, but I couldn't. And that motherfucker started turning his head, and he was looking right at me, and all I could see is his big ass muscles and horns. And I just wanted to die, man, but I couldn't do nothing. I was helpless. Because I wasn't on drugs at that time. I had just got into my neighborhood, and I didn't do drugs or nothing. I was sober as fuck. I just felt cold, like fucking, like I was in the ice room or something. And paralyzed at the same time because I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I was trying to move and I couldn't. I was like stuck. I'm like glued onto my fucking bed. I don't know, but I think probably because of the way I was, you know. Always cussing, talking shit about God, talking shit about my mom, you know, everybody. I was all messed up in the head. I was just getting into my neighborhood, so maybe that's one reason, but I don't know. I've always felt this presence, though, of evil around me, though, ever since I was a little boy. And sometimes I still feel it when I'm alone sometimes. Like something's out there to like get me. The second one happened in the border of my neighborhood and Southside 18's neighborhood. And what happened was I was walking and I could see a bunch of gang members, and I knew they weren't my homies because most of my homies were young and these dudes looked like older veteranos. So I knew right away it was 18th Street because that's how they were, mostly older veteranos. And they had just went on a killing spree. They had killed a few dudes from Flores, from Bear Street. They had killed one of my homeboys from Kansas, and we had killed one of their homeboys recently. So they were out to get us, and I couldn't feel my legs, man. But I'm walking right towards them, and I could see their eyes. I could even smell like the sherm and the alcohol in their breath. And I could see like their eyes were all red. I could tell they were all high. And I wanted to run, but I couldn't. So as I'm passing by these guys, it's literally like someone's carrying me. And when I got to like 57 to like Atlantic, I felt my legs again. And I ran all the way home. And I remember I never experienced something like that. And when I got home, I was still shaking from the experience, but I can't even explain that shit because I was just fear because I knew all these dudes had guns and I didn't have nothing on me. So I wasn't trying to walk into that, right into a trap. I never wanted to be anybody's trophy. I still don't want to be nobody's trophy. So I would have never walked in front of them fools like that without a gun. So I can't explain it though.
Explain that. What part was the part you felt was kind of paranormal?
Well, the thing was when I felt like someone was lifting up my body, and I didn't have control of my legs, but yet I was still moving. It's almost like I'm flying, bro. That shit fucked up my head, homie, for a while. I was scared, homie, because I thought that every time I would look at my legs, like, am I fucking walking, or it would fuck with me. But then as time went on, I think that somebody wanted me to see what I was up against, because I had just killed my homeboy. And these were all the guys that were trying to come and get us. I don't know if that's why it happened, but it just freaked me out beyond, I can't even explain it, man. I just felt fucking freaked out. I thought I was like possessed or something. I didn't feel like human, bro. Like, I'm looking in these guys' faces and they can't see me, bro. It's almost like I'm invisible. But all I wanted to do is run. But instead, I'm just in front of these guys, like someone's putting me in front of their faces. Like that. That shit was fucking awful, man. And I know one of those guys had just killed somebody, and I know he was real active at the time. I don't want to say his name, because I don't know if this shit could be used in court. But I know that guy personally, and he was there, so I knew that motherfucker always had a gun, because he couldn't fight for shit. So he always had a gun. And he was one of the main ones at the time for putting in work from these guys' neighborhood. But I can't explain why I couldn't control my legs. All I know is that I couldn't control which way I walked. I tried to cross the street, and I felt like someone was pulling me. I tried to run, and I couldn't control my legs. But after I seen all their faces, every one of those dudes that was there, including the homegirls, their homegirls, after I seen everyone that was at that party, I just like floated almost to Atlantic. I didn't walk. I felt like I was floating. And when I landed on my feet, I felt heavier. I felt like, fuck, like way heavier than I normally feel. Like somebody put me down and put some extra weight on me. And I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack, because I was freaked out by the whole experience. I was like shaking real bad. I felt like when I used to get pepper sprayed in prison, and my immune system was fighting off the pepper spray, that's how I felt. I was just shaking. I couldn't control my nerves, I guess, were all fucked up. I guess I went through that for a couple weeks. I was just like fucked up in the head, man. But those are the two main ones that always stood in my head, bro. And I was really young when I went through them. I was like about 15. I'm 38 now. And both of them were like around the same time.
Did you ever have any, did you ever see or hear of any paranormal activities like in prison?
You know what, bro? When I was in prison, I had just killed my Sally, bro, and I was fighting a murder case. They were trying to charge me for a murder, but it was actually self-defense. And I heard that wicked laugh. Then I heard that demon laugh, you know? But I remember saying, fuck you, motherfucker. I ain't scared of you no more. And it like went away, bro. But I felt that same piercing in my bone, like that chill. I don't know if it's the fear or that coldness that I felt that night, but as soon as I started talking shit, it went away. But I heard the laughing again, like, ha, ha, ha. That shit stood in my head, man.
You ever seen in prison where, like, if somebody gets killed in a cell and then someone else goes there later and that person hears that person's voice or an energy there?
You know what? Every time I used to go to Old Folsom, I would feel shit like that, like in Folsom, like in San Quentin where Death Row's at. I would always feel like chills when I would go up the tier, especially when I would go all the way to the 5th tier. It's like you feel something's there. Even though it's a peaceful environment where the guards got everything under control, you feel like something lurking, man. Like, just like evil spirits, you know? But that I've actually seen something with my eyes, no, I never have. I just felt like that eerie feeling, like when you go to a funeral or something like that. All right, I got you, dog.
Shot a 20 of some coke into my veins.